Wheelchair Jimmy, and I'm rolling through San Francisco, California today. I thought I'd give you some accessibility tips if you're coming to San Francisco for the very first time. We just love the Bay Area. It's a very accessible city, although I'm sure, as you know, they have some dangerously steep streets like California and Sacramento streets. When we visit San Francisco, we typically stay in the Union Square area or the Fisherman Wharf area. Both are reasonably level, and it's easy to navigate to the other hotels, restaurants, shops in the area, and you don't have to be constantly challenged by some of those steep streets in San Francisco. In the Union Square area, there's a beautiful park, world-class shopping, just a lovely, level area. And Fisherman's Wharf is also very level. It's right on the waterfront. Lots of interesting places to go, great accessible restaurants and attractions. Sometimes we get a little touristy and go out to Pier 39. There's a couple places you can't get into there, a couple steps, but by and large, it's very accessible right there on the waterfront and tons of fun. And when you're out there on the wharf, consider the Bay Area cruises. Many of the boats now have ramps and are accessible, although there are no restrooms on the boats. But get out there in the open air. It's gorgeous out there in the bay. And now you can also get to Alcatraz. They have accessible boats, again, no restrooms, but once you get to Alcatraz, there's a specially installed lift to get you up to the famous prison, and that makes it easier. And there are also wheelchair accessible restrooms there. One of the attractions I'd suggest you avoid is the City Sightseeing bus tour, which is accessible only on 48 hours notice. And frankly, I don't give anyone 48 hours notice. So I crossed this one off the list. One of the fun things we've done is to go over and have breakfast at the famous Fairmont Hotel. There's an easy ramped entry, elevators, accessible restrooms throughout. It's just a beautiful historic landmark. We've also gone up to the top of the Mark Hopkins Hotel. Again, an easy ramped entry, accessible elevators and restrooms. It's just a fun thing to do, and the views on top of the Mark are spectacular. Or just go over and relax at Golden Gate Park, which is mostly on level ground. It's huge and very accessible. If you want to come to San Francisco and have an adventure, get on a cruise ship. Go down to Mexico. Go across the Panama Canal. They are fabulous and very wheelchair accessible. They're easy to get on and off. Many large commercial elevators, 5-star accessible restaurants, and huge restrooms. And each of the cruise ships have about 20 or 25 wheelchair accessible staterooms. Regarding local transit, I have not tried the BART or the Metro bus system, but I'm told both are very wheelchair accessible. Now, Amtrak I have tried. It is accessible, including wheelchair accessible restrooms. Just tell them up front so they put you in the right car. So please come visit San Francisco. It's one of the most beautiful cities in the United States. And please come visit wheelchairjimmy.com as well. We'll tell you which hotels, restaurants, cruise boats, city attractions are accessible and which properties to avoid. Roll on, America!